What's up, Kings fans? Doug Christie here. I'm excited to talk about the NBA Top Shot and Sacramento Kings fandom community. Top Shot Kingdom. They're some of the most passionate and dedicated fans out there. We love seeing all the support that you give us. And you know what we say, light the beam and go Kings.
Ooh, yeah, what's going on, Top Shot Kingdom? It's Scott Freshour, your in-game MC, and I got a question for you. Who's ready for some Top Shots, baby? Keegan Murray!
Hey, what's up, Top Shot Kingdom? This is Keegan Murray. What is up? Hopefully everyone here can see me and can hear me. If you're joining into the chat, please give me a thumbs up. Say something in the chat that you can hear me, that you can see me. Hopefully we all went live well. Let me look at the YouTube to see that everything is going well. This is the first time going live, the debut of Chew on This. I am Chewy Wolf, aka Just Chewy. Real name is Robert. You can call me whatever you want. Even if it's something bad, I'll probably say hello. You are on the Collectin and Connectin YouTube page. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thanks to them for letting me be on here. We have some great hosts with their different shows. We have the main Collectin and Connectin podcast. Also, I used to be on another product called Watch Playback, where I was doing live NBA games, mostly the Kings. That product unfortunately folded, and the great CNC community asked me if I would join them on here. It's been a while, but I finally found the time to make it, and came up with this show. So, play on my nickname. The reason why I am called Chewy, way back in like middle school camp or whatever, I found out while I was stretching that I could do the Chewbacca sound, and I'll do that in a little while, maybe in between, to break the monotony of what we're talking about. But there is a reason why I am called Chewy, and then my name, Chewy Wolf. So with that, I'm a Kings fan. I live here in Sacramento. I do have a guest coming on today, featuring Dimer. I'll bring him on in a minute. But to give a little rundown of what this show is about, I called it Chew on This, or something to chew on. We want to try to talk about things that are thought-provoking or debate-worthy, controversial kind of stuff. It won't always be like that. Sometimes it'll be just talking about current events in sports, or talking about collectibles, whether it's digital or physical, whatever it might be. And there's topics that can come up in that all the time, whether it's in the physical space, the digital space, any kind of sports. There's always topics to talk about that are controversial, that we have our own opinions on, right? And our opinion is always the right opinion, even though somebody might prove us wrong. We feel we're right about it. So there's always stuff to talk about. So with that, I'm going to bring on my guest, Dimer, or It's Dimer is his stream. He's on Twitch, he's on TikTok, he's on YouTube, he's on Twitter, he's on IG. He's new to the Dapper Labs community, Top Shot specifically. He came on hot into the community, ripping packs and doing content. And typical to the Top Shot community, we welcomed him with open hands, and we flocked to him to teach him about this product. I've joined him on his Twitch stream. Now he's joining us here on Collectin and Connecting, and being my debut guest. So give him a round of applause, please, as I bring him on.
Yes, sir. What is good, bro?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. What about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you for joining.
That's great to hear. You guys gonna have to excuse my voice. I'm got some allergies going on right now, but otherwise, we're doing good. Ready to get this stream going.
So I gave a little bit of background about me, and I don't want to talk all about myself, but I can give more about myself. I'll get back to that though. Tell us a little bit about you, how you got into streaming, the things that you focus on that you enjoy, and what you're all about.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Before we talk about like Top Shot or anything, I guess I'll start on my background because my background obviously did not start within the Top Shot community. So I love sports video games. I love sports. Grew up playing sports my whole life. What's good to everybody in chat? I see y'all. Just want to say hey. But yeah, so we got into streaming because growing up, I always wanted to be a streamer, wanted to be a content creator. I was really good at these sports video games. My friends are always bothering me. Hey, like you listen, you got to start streaming. It's obviously something you can do. You can talk to people. You're entertaining. You're good at the game. But I never really got into it. But recently, about 2 years ago, I got into it, and I've been following my passion, following my journey, kind of just going on this journey. Like I said, that I really want to achieve something big in streaming. That's where I've been for the last 2 years. But then I actually noticed something in the Top Shot community. Somebody in the community kind of reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I think this is a good space that you could exist in. We need to bring in some youth. We need to bring in somebody that's going to do these pack openings, bring some excitement." W Jersey, thank you, Joseph. I see you, bro. Bring some excitement into this Top Shot thing. And hopefully that's what I'm here to do. So that's what's got me to NBA Top Shot, is kind of to bring some youth and to bring some excitement into the community. And I feel like I've done that so far, and the community has been really good as far as the reception goes. And I'm kind of excited to see what we can do from here, especially on a stream like today. This is a really good opportunity for both of us. So
yeah, for sure. And so, you know, we've had some pretty exciting games in the NBA last couple of days. We've got some games going on tonight. We'll get to that later. You know, it's 3 o'clock on the West Coast, 6 o'clock where you are. So a little early on my side. And, you know, with me being here in Sacramento, my Kings are trying to be the worst team in the league. Well, the players aren't, but the organization is, right? You're clear on the other side over on the East Coast, right?
yes, very true.
So, and I do know quite a bit of Heat fans, some going back all the way to the, you know, well, not all the way back. It's not that long ago, but the
Right.
Shaq days and
Yeah.
LeBron and Wade. If you want to go a little bit further back to Alonzo Mourning days, I know some of them as well. And so we'll get into the fandom talk in a little bit. But when you're talking about your streaming, go a little bit more into you. Like, is it all video games? Is it all short form content? Which do you focus on more? Which do you enjoy more? Go into a little bit more about that.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, it started out as like a short form content thing, and then I realized, well, if we're gonna make the short form content, we might as well kind of work our way into that long form. It went from short form to long form. Now I'm currently doing both, and then the streaming started as well. And then I also realized that during these streams, I can create content on stream. So I've been able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, 3 birds if you consider the short form and long form content, 2 different things. So while I'm streaming, I'm able to make content. It's been extremely fun. Definitely looking forward to increasing my numbers on streaming because my short form content performs a lot better than my streams do, especially as of late. But with MLB The Show 26 coming out tonight at midnight, I'm going to be doing a big stream on that. I'm really excited to see how that goes. We're going to be very MLB focused, but obviously still be making a lot of content and existing in these Top Shot spaces. So we're not going to be letting go of Top Shot. We'll still be focused on Top Shot while we focus on MLB The Show 26 on stream.
So what you've been doing right now with your streams with the MLB, has that been like a preview or not a beta, but you get exclusive before it gets released gameplay?
No. So right now the MLB, are you talking about like with the early access coming out for MLB?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just like a purchasable thing. So anybody's going to have early access. One day, that is a goal of mine that I do want to achieve, is to be able to have early access to games just like that. And I see a question in chat as well. Banana Mac asked if I was a lifelong Heat fan. I've been a Heat fan since I want to say 2012-ish. Became a fan of the Miami Heat. Jumped on that LeBron and Dwayne Wade bandwagon and haven't gotten off since. So it's been a really good ride. We haven't gotten any rings since those days, but I definitely am very happy as a Heat fan. But yeah, what were we talking about on the topic of the early access and the streaming? Yeah, that's what we were referring to. So yeah, just pretty much I'll be getting the game is the same time anybody else is, but I'm still looking to bring, get ahead and bring a lot of that content early on. So I can kind of get out ahead of the rest of the pack as far as the content creation goes.
Okay. So taking a step back, now that we have a little bit more people rolling in, give a little rundown of what we hope to do with the show today. Depending on how long we go, we'll probably go into the beginning of the NBA slate. Most games, 2 games start at 4. Your Heat start at 4:30, at least my time. So that's 7 or 7:30 your time. Keep having to think both West and East Coast at the same time, So we'll probably be on here at least through the first quarter of that 4:30 game, 7:30 game. So the rundown of what we'll be talking about today, we'll go into our individual sports fandom, how we became fans of the teams that we are across the 3 major sports. If we want to get into hockey, we can, but we'll just keep it to the 3 major ones, being basketball, football, and baseball. And that will kind of transition us into talking about into our collections, both physical and digital. We'll bring up NBA Top Shot. For you, there's a big thing that just happened with your Heat, with Bam. And that ties into actual NBA talk and NBA Top Shot talk as well, because what NBA Top Shot can do that cards can't is do instant collectibles. Within a day, they put out a set called NBA Top Shot This, and they had a moment for Bam's 83-point game. Actually, 2 moments that they're doing this time for that game. One that is a smaller, more obtainable with different parallels, and then they're doing what's called a Kingmaker, which is a reel that has more contents, more angles, more celebrations. It's for like the top Bam collector or the top Heat collector, whoever can get that. Like that's the grail for that kind of thing. We'll go into more of that. Then we'll talk a little bit more NBA specific. Bam versus Kobe's, 83 versus 81. That's kind of that something to chew on kind of thing. We'll talk about maybe the MVP race, the difference between most valuable player, actually most valuable to their team versus the best player, like what that award really should mean. Maybe the draft and the draft lottery. When we're on Top Shot itself, we'll kind of go through the journey. Since you're new to Top Shot, and if you have some of your followers joining us, we'll go through the journey of Top Shot from like the Series 1 days when they were in the bubble and playing in front of no fans when they came back from the pandemic, and what that looked like. Some of these moments have cars in the background and crazy things like that. And one of them has my face on the jumbo screen behind the basket, like things like that you can't get with physical cards, right? We'll go through that journey, and then maybe we'll get to show some of our own Grail physical collection things and tell a story behind that. We'll get into our football fandom, talk about our teams there, which will roll into NFL all day and talk about what that's all about. Then one of the other topics to kind of tie in the chew on this theme is our dog of the show. Choose some kind of athlete anywhere. It could be an Olympic athlete that we just saw recently. It could be some obscure other sport like disc golf or what. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Your dog of the show. So as I bring other people on when I do other shows, whoever you want to choose as your dog of the show, and that's going to be sponsored by Chewy Pet Products. We'll talk about that, and then, like I said, we'll be previewing the NBA slate coming up. We'll be talking about the game as it goes along, and then any other kind of sports that are happening, the World Baseball Classic, WNBA, and their strike going on. We'll see how things go, and whatever the chat wants to talk about as well. We had some people that dropped some comments into the tweet, also with some topics to talk about. So please chat. I see Leet, I see Banana Mac, I see Cart Pig, I see some new names that I don't recognize, which maybe is either from the CNC Discord or maybe some of your people that you brought over, Dimer.
I definitely have some community members in here. And while we're taking the opportunity to look at the chat, somebody said Dimer's new to Top Shot. What's your favorite team and Top Shot name? My favorite, actually, I'll start with my name. My name is It's Dimer, so ITSDIMER. It's Dimer. And then my favorite team is the Miami Heat. I mentioned earlier, I've been a Heat fan since the LeBron and Dwayne Wade days, which I know for a lot of people is not that long ago. But for me, it's been over half my life. So I've been a Heat fan since then. We're sticking with it now, staying loyal to our original team.
So I put it in the chat, or at least it is trying to be put in the chat. There it goes.
Yeah, thank you.
There it goes. Finally.
Never mind. That's funny.
But somebody doesn't like. Oh, Bleezy. Yeah, Bleezy. He's a Celtics fan.
Oh, okay. That's the one. I'll give you an excuse on that. Okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough. We got some real beef.
Yeah, you guys got some rivalry there, right?
Yes, certainly.
And that, I mean, hey, you want to talk about rivalries? That could be a definite chew on this kind of topic.
Yeah.
You can go super old school Celtics Lakers. You could go East Coast, Miami to the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
I could keep it, early 2000s with Kings Lakers, and the whole rigging the free throws and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I won't get into that on this show, but there's all kinds of topics we can talk about there. So let's get into our fandom. We already found out that you're a Heat fan. Those of you that know me can clearly know that I'm a Kings fan. You can see by my hat and my flag behind me.
Right.
Long time. Was actually born in Southern California, so I could have ended up a Celtics or a Lakers fan. I don't know what kind of person I would have ended up being if I was a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
Probably not the person that I am now. But moved to Sacramento when I was like 2, 3, something like that. And then, to date myself, when the Kings came to Sacramento in '85, I didn't go to the first game, but I was there the first season. I don't remember it because I was only like 4, but I was there, and I've been a fan as long as I can remember. And they've pretty much sucked for as long as I can remember, except for a few good years in the late 90s, early 2000s, until recently. And that's like thing about Kings fans is like we're some probably come and go and jump on and off the bandwagon, but most of us are pretty honorable. And then we've never had a professional football team here, so closest was the 49ers and the Raiders. I've been told I can't be a fan of both. I have to choose one, but I say screw that. I like both the Raiders and the Niners. But if I had to choose, I'm a Niners fan. But I would love to see a Niners-Raiders Super Bowl someday. Same with baseball. I'm both a Giants and an A's fan. Although I would choose Giants over A's. But recently, like I told you last night on your stream, the A's Sacramento home is in Sacramento right now. Last year, this year, probably next year, before they go to Vegas. So I've been enjoying the A's here in Sacramento while they're here. And that's a little background of my fandom there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, I was gonna say, if you're kicking it to me, we can start with NBA. We talked about the Miami Heat. I feel like I went over that story a few times, so nothing too complex about my Heat fandom. Yeah, everyone's been saying their favorite favorite Heat players down below. I've seen some Ray Allen, some Dwayne Wade. So I definitely love Dwayne Wade. We got Dwayne Wade here on the back. Once again, I forgot to hang out my Jason Williams white chocolate jersey.
Should have did that before stream.
Yeah, should have did that to represent for you. We'll get you next time. But yeah, it's in the closet back there. So we talked about NBA, both of us. You talked about NFL. For me, my favorite NFL team is the Green Bay Packers. I don't know if you guys can see back here in my closet. We have my Micah Parsons and Jordan Love jerseys back there. I got my cheese head as well. I might have to get that out when we start talking about NFL all day and kind of free agency and whatnot. We'll get the cheese head out. So I'm a Packers fan. That was kind of just, I lucked into it, came in, was watching an NFL game on Thanksgiving, and it happened to be Packers-Lions. And I happened to choose the team whose uniforms I like the most. And keep in mind, I was a little kid. I was like, I like the green and yellow ones. I went with that, and I've stuck with it ever since. So I can definitely say I lucked into my Packers fandom, even though we haven't got a Super Bowl since I chose the Packers. And then for the MLB, I'm a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. This is just proximity. Pittsburgh's the closest big city, one of the big four sports, as far as baseball goes. Pittsburgh's my closest city. So I could have ended up a Steelers fan. Very thankful I'm not. Thankful I'm a Packers fan, but I'm also thankful to be a Pirates fan, despite of our, recent lack of success, because we have a really bright future, and I do hope that the Pirates can, maybe make a playoff push this year. We'll have to see about that.
Okay. So you talk about the Packers. My good friend, his dad is, I don't know how many blocks away, but he's close enough to the Packers stadium to where people park on his lawn.
Yeah.
And he ended up making a business out of it, just charging people. He ended up paving his lawn so he has no grass, so he could fit as many cars there as he can.
Yeah.
And he just charges people $40 to park on his lawn, lot in front of his house.
It's a good deal out there. They got people around in the community have kind of made a killing off of that because of how rural the area is. It's easily the most rural stadium in all of sports, if you ask me. If anybody can name a more rural area that they play any professional sport in down below, please let me know, because it's got to be Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I would love to go watch at that. I don't know if I would want to watch it during a frozen tundra game with my shirt off kind of game.
Right.
But I would love to go to that stadium and watch a game, even if it's not the Niners. I wouldn't care. Just to that's one of those kind of stadiums. If you're an NFL fan in general, just to watch any game there would be awesome.
Which, funnily enough, I've been to Lambeau Field once, and the one game I went to watch was 2 years ago. It was Niners coming into Green Bay, and we ended up beating San Francisco, so that was awesome for me to be able to watch that. Also, somebody said they sent me my first Wade moment, I think. Yeah, it was Bleezy. Bleezy said, I sent you your first Dwayne Wade moment. Thank you very much, bro. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you, brother.
Oh, that must be if it's Dwayne Wade, is that an archive moment?
We can go check it out now if you'd like.
It's gotta be. Well, that's a good transition to going into talking about Top Shot.
Sure.
If you have your screen ready, I can bring it up and we can see what you just got. We could go through your new collection, and then we could kind of go a little bit of a journey, see if you can remember a play or a moment or something from the bubble era or from COVID era of your Heat, and I'll see if we can find that on Top Shot, and we'll go and look at it and see what it's all about. And then we'll compare that to a modern day Heat moment, like the Bam one that just came out. And you can see the difference between the evolution of Top Shot from 4 years ago, 5 years ago to now.
For sure.
Okay, so I'll bring your screen up.
Okay. All right, yep. Here we are on the main page. Should we go see this Wade moment first? Because I found it right here.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I'll load up into it. Oh, hold on now. Okay, that's actually pretty tough. Sky and bro, he could dunk so much for his height. It's crazy. Chewy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just enjoying the moment.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I was making sure.
Trying to see when you've seen a moment multiple times, you start looking like in the peripheral of it to see some fan's reaction or like a player on the bench reaction, like anything else that you might have missed. It's kind of like rewatching a movie for the 10th time and seeing things in the background or whatever.
This is hard though. I like this. People talking about like the vintage look. I mean, it's relatively old moment, so it's very cool. From 2006.
Yeah, and that thing about that footage is like when it's close up, it looks clear, and that was like during that transition between like standard def and high def. So like further away, it's grainy as hell, but up close, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So Orion is asking, to be honest, what is Top Shot? So, I don't know that there's really any clear answer to that. What the CEO of Dapper Labs, which is the overall company underneath or on top of Top Shot, they have many different products. The way he would explain it would be something different, right? It's digital trading cards. So what is on the screen right now is a digital trading card. They call them moments because it's a moment in the game. It's a moment in time, a moment in history. It's a way that instead of just that frozen still of him dunking or a frozen still of them holding the ball like on a card, you get the full lead up to it, right? You get the play being set up. You get 2 or 3 different angles of him coming down the court from the baseline or the sideline. You get the reactions, the celebrations, you get all of that. Plus you have the type of play, you have the score, whether it was a win or a loss, you have the exact date of where it happened. You can see the mint count, the original mint count. You can see how many have been burned in the existing supply, and it's all right there, trackable on what they call the blockchain. There's no like wondering how many are out there, like with some cards that aren't numbered, having to figure it out and not knowing that there's 100,000 of the same one, thinking that it's rare or valuable because it's just a big name. Here you could see it, and the market is instant. So if you wanted to go place that for sale right now, you could, not that you are because you don't want to keep that
Right.
one, but you could place that for sale right now, or you could scroll down and see if there's any instant offers, and you could accept somebody's offer and get that in your wallet right now. So that's a little bit about what Top Shot is. If you want to back out of that moment, you could show what other moments that you got. And this started in like late 2020.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know about it. The big boom started in like January, February of 2021. I joined in February, and it was during the pandemic. People couldn't leave their homes, or a lot of them didn't want to, whatever it was. And people wanted something to collect. People wanted a hobby. People wanted a community. And this was a way to get into something, collect something. At the time, it was something that a lot of the crypto people were getting into, because you could put money into it and instantly flip it for a lot of money. And honestly, that's why I got into it. I've told this story before, hearing it on local sports radio, where people were buying packs for $5, $10, $9, whatever it was, buying a whole bunch of them, right? Spending a few $100s, and then flipping a LeBron James moment for 10K, or if they were hitting a debut moment, enough money that they could have bought a house, right? I mean, I was having a family and seeing the money that was sold for some of these things, like, wow, you could get a new car, or you could buy this digital thing. So that's a little background of what that is. Right now, I think your oldest game footage, though, is probably that Dwayne Wade one. Otherwise, though, you have all moments from this year or last year.
I think I have one moment that, well, this Daryl Griffith has to be, Daryl Griffith.
That's pretty old. There you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty old. Yeah.
Same time as Chewy Wolf. I'm kidding. Back from
what year is that one?
85.
I'm older than that, actually. Damn.
Oh man.
I look better than
one
that,
more
though.
that might be older. Right. We might have one more that might be a little older, but yeah, this Googs, Tom Gugliotta, little behind the back dime to Kevin Garnett for the and-one finish. So that's 97. But otherwise, yeah, I think everything else is pretty much this year. Okay. Pretty much. So
if you go to the, I was asking you if you thought about it yet. I don't know if you have. Have you thought about a Heat time, a Heat moment, Heat play, Heat game, whatever it is, around the bubble era, COVID era, when they came back?
Yeah.
Either in the bubble or when they were back in their own stadium but playing in front of no fans.
Yeah.
When that might have been.
I can certainly give kind of a moment, which would kind of be like a culmination of multiple plays. So I guess I'll kind of start with that, and then I can talk about my favorite play from the Heat bubble era. So we definitely have Jimmy Butler in his kind of playoff run leading up to that finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. Even though we did lose, to LeBron and his Lakers squad, Jimmy Butler had an amazing playoffs and an amazing finals where he, in my opinion, outplayed LeBron James. So if you have a player on your team that's playing better than LeBron James, you're still going to remember that moment fondly, whether you won the championship or not. So in the bubble, going to that bubble finals, I think it was 2020 to 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Around that time, that was an amazing moment overall, was Jimmy Butler's finals performance against LeBron and the Lakers. But then my favorite play, which would be a individual moment, would definitely be Bam Adebayo's block against the Celtics. This is when Bam, I want to say he was in his second or third, maybe fourth year. Tatum drove to the rack. I don't remember if it was a game-winning or a game-tying dunk, but it was super late in the game. Tatum goes up to punch it down, and Bam had one of the craziest defensive plays I've ever seen. So maybe that would be a good moment for us to go try to look at.
Okay, so if you go up to the top in the middle where it says market.
Okay. Why can't I find
it? Very top.
Yeah. Okay. Very top. Very top. Okay. My bad.
What's in there now? Okay. So do series 1.
Okay. Will that be about the filters or
right where it says Bam in the search field?
Just type series 1 as well.
Yeah.
Series 1. Already.
And then on the actually, you might be able to just find it, but you can go to the filter next to the names where it says number 2. Yeah. And you could choose your play type. So if you're talking about a block, go down where it says play type.
Play category right here.
Category, there you go. And you could choose block.
Block.
And let's see if the one you're talking about is there.
Yeah, so it looks like we don't have any bubble blocks.
No, it's not there.
So
the other one you're talking about is was a Butler moment?
Yeah, just Jimmy Butler and his playoff performance in the bubble. So we could try to just replace this right here, these two filters. Maybe we go to Jimmy Butler and see if we can find any playoff Jimmy bubble moments. Maybe this might be it right here. Jimmy Butler drops triple-double performance to keep Heat alive in 2020 finals. Maybe this would be a good one to look at. What do you think?
Sure, yeah, bring it up.
Obviously, I'm not purchasing this because this is a very rare, expensive moment, but this is what we're talking about right here. Just a bucket get around. Puts a smile on my face. Even though we lost this finals, it still puts a smile on my face thinking about it, man. Good times.
Yeah, and how many fans watching that during that time? And the finals during the bubble were, because it was a shortened season, it wasn't in May, June, like it would normally be in.
Yeah.
What's the date on that one? The game date?
I think it says October. Yeah, October 9th, 2020, which is crazy.
So to go back and think about that in history, watching the finals in October, which is when around the season usually starts. September, October, right?
Yeah.
So that's and there. So we're talking about the evolution of the Top Shot moments. Let's see it spin one more time. So we get one angle there, 2 angle, 3 angle. So that's kind of the same. I guess they'll call that a 4th.
Yeah.
And then him briefly walking down the court. Not really. So now let's go to this series Heat moment. So you go to the market.
Back in the market, we said?
Yeah. Take out a series 1 and just type in Heat. Because you're not going to get a Jimmy Butler
Miami
moment. Heat. Yeah. You're not going to get a Jimmy Butler from this year though. So just take out Jimmy Butler.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And do series 2025. Yeah, there you go. 25,
25 to
26.
26. All right.
Yeah. And if you want, you could watch that Bam moment.
Yeah, why not? Is
And
this just the 3-pointer?
It might be, yeah. But you could see the lead up to it. It's not even Bam yet, right?
Yeah.
So you see the lead up to the play, the next pass that leads up to the actual moment. Then you got this angle, third angle, fourth angle, him walking down, fifth, another angle, another one, celebration coming to the bench, to the sideline, with the coach.
It's a good moment right there.
And then with his
meant a lot to me as a Bam fan. Meant a lot to me. All right. Well, what's good, everybody in chat? I see you all sliding through. Somebody asked when I got into Top Shot. Well, what has it been now? Probably like a month. Maybe not. Probably like a month. I've been into Top Shot, so we're just now getting into it. This is something very new for me.
What's up, Okie Kid? I see Bleezy now. I see Coach P. So yeah, so you can see just from series 1 to now, the difference between the amount of different angles that you get. You didn't have the sound on, but if you had the sound on, you would be able to hear the crowd noise. You'd be able to hear that. They haven't gotten the license yet for like broadcaster, so you're not going to hear like the double bang or anything like that. That epic kind of thing when a play happens that you remember when you hear it live. But
yeah,
series 1, you didn't have any crowd noise, anything like that. Hearing the shoes squeak on the court, or the ball going through the net, or sometimes the player maybe dropping an F-bomb that they didn't quite bleep out, right? You didn't get that. Now we're getting that crowd noise as it evolved through the years of Top Shot. And you're getting the celebrations with teammates and with coaches, things that you didn't get during series 1 of Top Shot. And honestly, unless the card image of physical happens to be the celebration, you're not getting the celebration, right?
Yeah.
And if it is the celebration, then you're not getting the picture of the shot. You're getting one or the other.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not trying to bag on physical, because having something physical in your hand, there's nothing that beats having that, like touching that, having that in your hand, right?
For sure.
But there's pros and cons about both of those things. So that's a short little evolution. If you ever wanted to dive into the in-betweens and like go series 2, 3, 4, 5 and on and see all the different changes of how Top Shot evolved, you could. That would take too long to do that right now. And you could also see, like, after the boom of Top Shot, where things skyrocketed up and so much money and so many people, they're like, oh, we gotta make sure we mint enough of this, and they changed the mints from like 5K, 10K to 60,000.
Yeah.
And that was way too much, and that killed the product for a little while. And now they're correcting that. Now they're doing burns. Now they're minting rookies, only to 1,000. They're keeping things very small.
They're limiting the supply, if you will.
Yeah,
they're trying to create that, need, because you have so much of something, no one's really going to want it. I think that is a really good point that you bring up, because they've done a really good job with that so far. And then Okie Kid asked what my favorite team was. While we're on the topic of it, we're talking about Bam Adebayo. I'm a Miami Heat fan. I got the Heat culture jersey on. We got Dwayne Wade's college Marquette jersey in the back. Big Miami Heat fan. So not the biggest you'll ever find, but I definitely love my Heat.
So I have a pack that I'm going to open. I have that Bam Adebayo moment. I got one pack, and I'm going to gift you that moment. Whatever's in that pack, I'm going to give it to you. But sure. you said that you said that you had a pack left. So while I get that pack ready, you want to rip a pack?
Yeah.
For the culture, rip it for the content.
Yeah. Yeah. And for the Heat culture, we'll go ahead and rip one.
All right, for the Heat culture. And I'll get mine
I think
ready
I have
to go.
Sorry, but I'm gonna go ahead and just open up one of these, because I was holding these for a while, and I think I held them a little bit too long. But we'll see where we're at. You guys can let me know in the chat if you think this is a pack this other pack. Think if I should hold or sell it. It's a Legends and Stars chance hit, which I think somebody said that a lot of the really good cards out of these were already pulled. But why not rip it anyway? All right. See, here we can check while Chewy's getting that pack open. Here we can check how many players are remaining in these packs, and it looks like there are a good amount remaining. Peyton Pritchard, Ace Bailey, stuff like this. They got the serial numbers on them and whatnot. And you can see the prices of these cards. So you look at a pack like this, and this is something where you're like, oh, I really hope I can pull an Ace Bailey or a Steph Curry, because you're going to get a lot of value out of pulling these stars, as we can see. So this says remaining right here. 1 of 1, Chewy. Correct me if I'm wrong. That means that there's 1 Pritchard remaining in this pack, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and then we look at this Dylan Harper. We have 1 out of 4, meaning that there's 1 Dylan Harper left out of 4 that were initially put in this pack. So it's going to be pretty rare if we pull this Harper. Maybe we get a Derrick Rose or something like that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and open that while while Chewy is trying to pull his up.
I got mine ready when you're
That's
ready.
your new nickname. All right, I'll go ahead and rip first. Open pack. All right, so we have a legend. It's going to be.
Go ahead and mute that music.
Will do. Thank you very much. We have it muted. Click to reveal. We get a base set. Bona.
You got a palindrome.
Yeah. Well, you want to go ahead and play the moment?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll queue it up. Open moment. Oh, that opens a whole new tab. Can you guys still see?
If you just click play, it should play it within the box right there.
Oh, thank you very much. It's very smart. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
So here's the moment. Looks like a defensive play of sorts.
Swat it.
Said, give me that. All right. Get that out of here. On to the next moment. This is the second out of 2, I believe. Or maybe we have 3 moments, I guess. Oh, yeah, there's 3 moments in this pack. It's another base set. Salwan. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
I think it's Salon.
Salon, okay. Get your hair done. Shout out all my Hornets fans in here. I've actually been able to see the Hornets play before, so pretty cool.
Look at this. Look at the community sending you stuff.
Hey. What'd they send me?
Johnson, Top Shot this moment. Parallel
Ooh.
blockchain out of 99.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's awesome. Awesome, dude. Thank
All right. Last moment.
That being said, last moment. All right. Get a little rub.
And
roll the dice.
just to let you know, you can click on the actual moment too. You don't have to click on the little reveal box.
Okay. Like I can reveal it like this?
Correct, yeah.
All right, here it is. Base set. Oh, man. My luck.
One you already got.
But we'll still play it. We'll still play it just to show.
Rollins. So
is that Schroeder he's playing against?
Another thing about Top Shot for you to know if you don't already know, and for those in the chat that don't know, since you got 2 of those, and even if you wanted to keep one or get rid of both of them, you can trade those in for a trade ticket. And coming up, I think it's next week, there's going to be trade ticket packs, so you can use moments that you don't like, don't want, duplicates, whatever. Typically it's 10 trade tickets to get 1 pack, unless it's a premium pack, where they're doing 100 trade tickets for a premium pack.
Right.
And that way you can recycle the stuff you don't want for another pack. You don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, and I think it's a really cool feature, because it's like it allows you to clean out some of that inventory. You don't got to get in kind of the nitty gritty, like here I am going to sell each and every one of these cards. It doesn't really have high value. You can kind of just collect them, put them into this bundle, get them out of there, get these trade tickets back, and get some type of value back. So I think that's super valuable and neat about Top Shot.
What's the benefits of getting a premium pack? So with the trade ticket premium pack, I believe, I could be wrong, they haven't released all the details for it yet, but I believe they said it's a guaranteed hit. Now, what the hit is could be variable, like what they consider a hit. It could just mean a rookie or a rare moment is a hit, and you have a chance maybe at a legendary, or sometimes they cap it to where there's no legendaries, but it's a guaranteed rare or a rookie. Whereas in the 10 trade ticket packs, the chance at a rookie or a rare would be sometimes less than 5%, but it's there. And for long-time collectors, we'll turn in 500, 600 trade tickets and get like 60 packs, and just rip through them all and get mostly trash. But if you get 1 pack out of that was a hit, well, you turn your duplicates or your trash into something great. And also, usually they're giving you new moments from the new base set, if that makes sense, from that season. So if
Yeah.
you're turning in moments from 2-3 years ago for something new that came out, yeah, it's still a base common, but it's a new base common you didn't have. So, all right. So here's this BAM moment. Whatever is in here is going to you. If it's a
I appreciate
parallel, a number one, a jersey, or if it's serial number, I don't know how many were minted. I forgot to look, but whatever it is, it's yours. Give a little rub down for good luck.
Right. Okay.
360. So not a parallel, but
Yeah.
there was 2,452 of them minted. So
Good deal.
that doesn't mean that there was 2,000 people that minted it, because you can mint more than one or reserve more than one. But I will send that to you off screen later when we get offline.
Yes, sir. I
But
appreciate
that moment's yours. Means more to you than it does to me. But if there's ever a King's Top Shot moment, I expect you to return the favor. Just kidding.
Right. Right.
All right. So we've got games starting in like 10 minutes. We said that we were going to talk a little NFL football going into NFL all day. That's kind of what our agenda was, but we can go off topic. Do we want to get into some of our collections? Do we want to get into our chew on this topics? What do you think we want to do?
Yeah, it's really up to you. Maybe we can ask the chat. You talk about the collections. Are you referring to our physical collections?
Our physical collection, yeah.
Yeah, we could talk physicals first while we transition.
Okay. So you said that you had a bobblehead that you wanted to share.
Yeah, you asked me before we came on stream when we were talking about showing off something from the physical collection. I don't have a vast selection of sports memorabilia, but what I do have is this bobblehead. It's a Pittsburgh Pirates Dave Parker bobblehead. It might look a little bit green on my screen because of my color settings, but obviously we got the black and yellow, black and gold. If I'm not mistaken, Dave Parker actually recently just passed away. He was pretty old. I think he might have had Parkinson's disease, if I'm not mistaken. I'd hate to sit here and say that's what he had and he didn't, but I believe he passed away recently from that. But yeah, Dave Parker, really cool player. He's usually featured at MLB The Show. So I think that's one really cool thing about these sports video games and these sports collection platforms is that you're able to kind of get informed about the players that you never would have known about or never seen before. So that's kind of how you can learn and appreciate your history. And somebody historic on the Pittsburgh Pirates is Dave Parker. And I wanted to show off his bobblehead. It's kind of my primary, little flex of the stream of my physical collection of sports memorabilia.
Okay. Does it bobble?
Oh, certainly. I have a couple other bobbleheads that that don't bobble because I've had them for so long that they've broken. But this is my sole bobbling bobblehead because I've taken care of it.
So we were talking about. I don't know that this is my favorite one, but I want to try to. And people have brought it up in the chat. It's called crypto slabs. It's a way to bring your digital into the physical element. Yeah. So it looks like. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. It looks like a card slab.
Yeah.
See if I can get it to focus. There we go. Where it has the numbering on there. I've got the number 1 out of 10 and the jersey match 5 out of 10. Neat Clifford rookie moment. So when I play this,
yeah. It'd be a shame if it wasn't charged and didn't play.
And it has a digital autograph down there at the bottom.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll step back. That's tough.
So I've got quite a few of those. I've got the De'Aaron Fox 60-point game when he was still with the Kings, jersey serial of that. And I've got Doug Christie archive moment.
Yeah.
It's actually a legacy moment, legendary moment of his. So I've got a few of those crypto slabs. So those of you that are getting into digital or your physical people and you're kind of hesitant about getting into digital, this is a way to connect those two types of things. So you could have that physical display on the shelf with your digital collection. And you could do that with football, the NFL all day. You could do that with NBA Top Shot.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. I've got other things around here too, but I figured that I would keep it to that.
Hey, somebody mentioned setting our fast break lineups before the game start. It'd probably be a good thing. You could hop in and show your screen, maybe.
We got 5 minutes.
I mean, I'm down to set mine, but I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So I'll bring you up.
Yeah. So I'll go to play. We'll click on fast break. This is NBA Top Shot fast break. And Chewy, if you like, while I kind of put some players in, you can kind of explain to the crowd, for anybody who's not familiar, what this game mode is within Top Shot.
So hopefully you have enough players to do. So this is a way that you can use your collection to play basically an embedded fantasy game. Right. So you use your trading cards, you use your moments. They have both a classic, which is like an easier one that everybody should be able to play, and then a pro, which uses more specific types of moments, a little bit harder to do. And then there's a stat of the night. So tonight is 130 points, and the first player that you choose is going to be your captain. So you get 1.5 point bonus of that.
Yeah, that multiplier.
The multi-point bonus. So, and with that, if you get 130 points or more, if you get high enough and you rank within a certain amount, I forget what it is. I think it's top 50 or top 100 for the daily.
Yeah, something like that.
You win Top Shot cash. They call it Dapper. That's their kind of money, Dapper bucks. But daily you can win Top Shot credit, which gets put back into your account that night or the next day, that you can go and buy more stuff. And then throughout the whole run, it's usually a 9 or 11 day run. At the end, if you rank in a certain top amount for the run, you win more Dapper. And then you can also win packs, milestones. So if you win 3 games, you get a pack. You win 5 or 7, depending on how long it is, you get another pack. If you win 9 to 11, depending on how long the run is, you get another pack. And each pack has more moments or better moments, like a rare or legendary stuff in it. And it's a fun way to compete against your friends and against other collectors. It's a fun way to have utility for your collection. And if you don't really have a favorite team or a favorite player, it gives you kind of a strategy of what to collect.
For sure, yeah. Well, if you want, we can go ahead and submit this lineup. I think I got a pretty good set of players, and since my collection is not very deep, it's hard for me to be able to compete for the whole entire month of this fast break game mode. But it is pretty fun once the game mode resets for the collection. For the collected cards I do have, to be able to put those in and see how I stack up as far as who I chose.
Yeah, and you got it in before the lock, 2 minutes.
Yeah, right, just barely. And this is it right here. This is the squad.
So if you X out of that, you might have time to do a pro. Although I don't know if you have the right moments, but you could click on.
I might not, but we can still check.
And you could do the historic. Also, if you have.
I might only have 2, 3. Let's see.
You could just do autofill. It'll just pop in whatever you got.
I guess I have nobody.
Ah, damn.
That they're really trying to get me to drop more money on NBA Top Shot. Play the pro mode. But no, this is definitely, if you would like, you can kind of go into it a little bit and explain what the difference between the classic mode and the pro mode is.
Sure. Yeah, so I'll bring my screen up.
For sure.
Memphiatl in the chat, he got a BAM blockchain and a 365. Okay, blockchain's good. You got a parallel at least. So this is my lineup that I'm going with. I got Shea as my captain tonight too. I got Banchero, Banchero, Booker, Doncic, and Cade. Might be going a little overboard, but I want to make sure
hey,
that
stack up those points.
Yeah, I want to make sure I get that win. And then for pro, it's 35 assists with 5 steals. And that makes it pretty difficult. Sometimes they don't want to steal, or just like with blocks. Last night was blocks and rebounds.
Yeah.
And you'll think you have it, and then there'll be a stat correction. And they'll take the block away. So, and this one requires, usually it says the requirements. Oh, here it is. Lineup requirements. Challenge reward moments, leaderboard reward moments, or crafting challenge reward moments. So for those of you guys that don't know, you can complete challenges. Usually that's with collecting a certain amount of certain types of moments to complete a challenge, which will then give you a reward moment, a specific moment just for completing that challenge. There's also leaderboards for teams and players, so you can get moments rewarded to you from being on top of those leaderboards or within a certain range of people on that leaderboard. And then crafting, they've had in the past. They haven't done it in a while, but you used to be able to put certain moments together to then earn another moment, and those moments that you put together would be burned.
Yeah.
I know like Pokemon and other things have done that kind of crafting, kind of like evolution of moments. So that's how you get these moments. That's why there's a little star next to it, because it's a reward moment. But then people sell them too, so you can just go and buy them. So you didn't necessarily
be able to
them.
fill that lineup.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And then there's also historical, which is a simulation. You know, these two versions go off of the actual live action. So you have to be on top of late scratch players that are resting, things like that. Whereas the historic, it's a simulation. So you have to worry about, is the simulation going to use the right algorithm? Is Top Shot rigging it for a certain player? Sometimes I wonder. Right. But you can use all of your historical moments. So like that Dwayne Wade you just got. I don't think that Jazz moment that you got is on there. But any of your old historical moments you can use. And it usually follows the same schedule as the regular NBA slate. So whatever teams are playing that night, you can only use historical moments from players that were on those teams.
Okay, that makes sense.
But you don't have to worry about injuries.
That
or suspensions or things like that. So
right.
So that's Top Shot. That's Fast Break. That's our collections. We spent probably more time than we thought we would. Let's take a break from that and let's go to our sports dog of the show.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Chewy Pet Products. If you have a pet, go to Chewy. Sponsored by Chewy Pet Products. You know, same namesake as me. If you have a horse, like our friend Colton, quit horsing around. I don't know who has pet squirrels or chipmunks. But if you do, please go to Chewy. Get all your Chewy Pet products. They've been kind enough to sponsor this segment, our sport dog of the show. Do you have one?
I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious. Anybody in the chat who wants to take a gander as to who my dog as of late would be, it's got to be Bam Adebayo. I can't just sit here and pretend that's not going to be my dog. Just an absolutely amazing game. I know there was a lot of controversy surrounding his performance, kind of with how things got at the end. Should the coach have taken him out? Should the coach have left him in, let him do his thing? Personally, as a Heat fan, as a Bam fan, and as a big fan of Coach Spo and kind of his philosophy over the years, I think he should have let him in and chased the record, but I do understand how people could be frustrated about the way in which they did try to achieve the record, you know, a couple fouls here and there, force feeding him the ball. But when the other team's triple teaming you and hacking you the whole entire game, I think the 83 points is very respectable rather. So you guys let me know if you have any disagreements with that, where I'm cool with chopping it up if you guys want to talk about that. But if not, Chewy, you can tell us your dog as well.
So before we get into my dog, I mean, I think that kind of gives us something to chew on. If you want to talk about,
it does.
Kobe's 81 versus Bam's 83, right? And speaking of something to chew on, our gracious sponsor, Chewy Granola Bars, they're sponsoring this segment of something to chew on.
Right.
While I take a bite of my Chewy Granola Bar here, we need some energy to think about things like this, right? When you got controversial subjects like, was Kobe's 81 better than Bam's 83? Bam still had to make those free throws, right?
And the thing is, he also had to get to the line. He had to earn that.
Well, see, that's the part that we can chew on a little bit. Did he really earn all those? Some of his teammates were purposely fouling him fouling the other players to get him to the line.
Yeah.
He didn't earn that part of it, but he had to step up and knock down those shots. And how many times nowadays are fans complaining about these professional basketball players making millions of dollars can't step up to a free throw line uncontested and make a free throw?
Yeah.
And he went and he made how many free throws?
I want to say it was 36 for 40 something, if I'm not mistaken, but he made 30 some out of 40 some. So he's pretty efficient from the stripe.
Yeah. So, and me as a Kings fan, respect to Kobe, RIP. But the fact that one less Lakers record is in the books, I'm happy about that.
Sure. I understand.
So I don't care how it was earned. One less Lakers record in the books, good. Right?
Yeah.
And you could see it from your point of view. I'll give you that dog. And I wonder what the chat thinks.
Yeah.
Bam being second for most points in the game sounds crazy, but I gotta give it to him. So record's the record. Although Kobe was more so off of making a comeback to win the game compared to the Heat already dominating the game, made the difference to a lot of people, for sure.
Yeah.
What's your response to that?
I mean, honestly, I agree. I think Kobe's performance is more impressive than Bam Adebayo's, but I think we should take into account and realize that if Kobe could do that back then and no one has been able to match that output until now, even with how high scoring and talented the NBA is, of all players to be able to do that, for it to be Bam Adebayo, I mean, the circumstances had to be just right, and it makes me believe that 100 points in a game is definitely possible, and it could be seen, not necessarily in the near future, but don't be surprised if someone breaks Wilt's 100-point record, because the whole team committed to it. Everything went right. The coach was committed to that record, and they just went out and did it. So I think anything is possible at this point, and Wilt's record could be broken. And I do see the perspective that, the Heat were up the whole entire game. So for me, that also contributes to the fact that I think Kobe's game was more impressive, but obviously the record belongs to Bam. So he's forever going to be the second most points scored in the NBA in a single game until that changes. So
does it need to be with an asterisk?
I don't think so, because at the end of the day, anybody can go out and do what the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra, and Bam Adebayo did, because there's no unwritten rule that prevents you from going out and, say, manipulating the game to try to get somebody more buckets. Because, yes, some people might say, well, now the floodgates are open. Now everybody's going to do it. What I say is be my guest. Go ahead and do it, because it made a huge buzz for the NBA. It made a huge buzz for the Miami Heat. It put Bam Adebayo on the map for a lot of people if they didn't already know who he was already. So I challenge anybody to go out and go be the person who does that next. You know what I mean? Yeah, sure. Like, people are going to say, well, you should have been fouling in the situation. You shouldn't have kept Bam in the whole entire game. You should have subbed him out to preserve Kobe's record. Screw that, man. Go break Bam's record. I want to see somebody go score 85. That's going to be good for the NBA product. Yes, you can talk about the unwritten rules, but then again, dude, just screw those. Let's play basketball. Go win the game. Go score 100 points. I don't care, man. So it's like, just let the dudes ball, man. And that's exactly what Bam did. So,
yeah, and people say, like, oh, foul him before he gets a shot off. Well, then you get in the bonus, right? And then you get players that are fouling out, and then like even the players that are good or that are supposedly good that should be able to at least contain Bam. You have Alex Sarr in there that should be able to at least put some kind of defense on him. And Bam was still just either getting to the rack and making the shot, or he was getting fouled and then making his free throws. Either way, it's impressive. I got to be honest, I wasn't watching it until I saw that he had 31 or 32, whatever, until the first quarter, at the end of the first quarter. When I saw that, I started paying attention. And then my son kept coming out of his room. He's like, Dad, Bam's got whatever it was at the half. Dad, Bam's got whatever it was at the third. I'm like, okay, let's see if he could break it. And like, what other time in the world would we have cared about a Heat Wizard game?
Probably never. I mean, I wasn't watching the game until, like you said, once I got the notification about Bam's first quarter, about how he's on pace for 100-something points if he keeps up that pace that he was on. Of course, I tuned in. So yeah, my stream glitched out a little bit when I was trying to watch it, but I still certainly saw a lot of those buckets throughout the game, and then went back and watched the highlights, of course, to see kind of how he got to that benchmark. Yeah,
for sure. So that's definitely a good dog. For myself, I was kind of going back and forth. Like when you and I were planning this show a couple of weeks ago, and we had it on the books, Precious Achua on the Kings was balling out. He's a vet. He was getting double doubles. He was having double-digit rebounds. He was getting 2 or 3 blocks a game. He was kind of coming out of nowhere, and kind of saying to hell with the Kings tank, and showing up. But now it's been a couple of weeks, and he's kind of calmed down a little bit. So I can't really give it to him. Keeping it to the last couple of days, though, that Trey Murphy shot, if you saw it, and the celebration standing over.
Yes. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was definitely a dog moment.
That was a dog moment.
Yes.
And I like Trey, except for when he's killing my Kings. So I got to give it to Trey. That celebration, I'm sure that's going to become, well, it may not be. That's one thing talking about Top Shot in the past is like we've had some Top Shot this plays that we thought for sure would become moments, and moments have to get approved by the Players Association and by all the players that are going to be in it. So if a player feels embarrassed, he can say no.
Yeah.
We've had some like nutmeg moments. We've had some balls in the face dunks that haven't happened. And we've wanted them so bad, but the guy that was embarrassed like said, no, I don't want it to be on there. So hopefully that Trey Murphy moment becomes one. He's my dog of the show.
If I'm not mistaken, was it DeJounte Murray who hit that shot on the Pelicans?
DeJounte Murray. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew we were talking about DeJounte.
DeJounte Murray. I'm sorry. I got the Murrays mixed up.
Yeah, that's all good.
My old age.
Right. Catching up with us. But yeah, I definitely agree. That was I saw that on Twitter and was like, oh my goodness. Like I also, if they ask me, hey, do you want to be in that moment? And I'm the player who got stood over and got that 3-pointer knocked on me, I'm saying no. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not being put in a moment like that.
But then you're going to be that guy that's like, what? You're too good for it. You don't want to be in it.
I understand.
How about next time you play him, you just get him back?
I do understand that, but I feel like say I get dunked on, I feel like that's a little bit different because if I get postered, that's something that happened during the play, and that's the exact moment. I think the play and him standing over him is not nearly as memorable as, say, a poster dunk or an ankle-breaking 3-pointer, because it's like what happened after was more disrespectful than what happened on the court. Does that make sense? It's more of that becomes the moment instead of the actual play. The play was very cool. It was cold. But to go over and stand on somebody after, I feel like that was kind of how people would interpret the moment. So maybe that's his defense as to why he wouldn't want that made into a Top Shot moment.
And if they did make it a moment, but did just the ankle break part and didn't do the celebration at the end, people like say 10 years from now, people didn't remember that play, and just saw the ankle break 3, like, oh, that's kind of cool, but not knowing the context about what happened afterwards.
Yeah, that does make sense. I see your perspective on that. I can't argue with it because you're not wrong.
And the fact, like DeJounte Murray, thank you for correcting me on that, because the context of that is like he was out for a season, he came back from injury, so to come back from that, and be so cold and just like nothing happened is good
Deliver
on
a
him.
shot like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Put him away. It finished the game for them, to my knowledge.
So NBA slate has probably started by now. Sometimes games start a little bit late.
Yeah, they love to do that. I don't know why.
But right now we've got, speaking of the Wizards, you've got Wizards versus the Magic. You've got Detroit versus the Sixers. Wait, looking at the historical, that's wrong. I'm going off of what Top Shot has. Let me go to the regular classic one and see what it says.
Okay.
You got your Heat and Bucks, though, in about 15 minutes. Have you looked at the starting roster to see if anybody's resting?
I have not yet. I assume Bam and Giannis are both in, and from there, I'm not entirely sure who is starting.
Okay, so let's look at. I like to use Roto.
I'm not familiar. What'd you say it was?
RotoWire.
Okay.
RotoWire starting lineups.
Yeah.
So I can bring that up.
For sure. There we are.
So for your Heat, where is it? You got Ware, Bam, Larson, Davion. And from your Heat point of view, how do you pronounce his name? Casper.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. Let me see. Could you spell it?
JAKUCIONIS.
Yeah. I just call him the Ghost. That's what I call out that white boy.
Okay.
Because
okay.
no thank you on butchering that one.
Okay.
So
because I haven't heard
that's
it.
our Ghost.
I've only heard it when it's a national game, like ESPN or NBC or whatever. I haven't heard the Miami broadcasters say his name, so I don't know if the way that I'm hearing it is correct. So I was wondering if you had heard it from the local Miami broadcast point of view.
Yeah, I don't think I have. And obviously his minutes have been, here and there as we've had these injuries. But I think, let me look at his stats, see what he's been averaging minutes per game wise, if it will show us. Pulling up ESPN for our stats here.
Sure. And then the games are already going on. Like I said, you got Sixers Detroit, no Embiid, no Maxey. So look at all this. Look at this. Bona out, Drummond out, Embiid out, Paul George out, Maxey out, Oubre out.
Yeah.
Detroit's favored by 14.5.
I was going to say, that looks like it's going to be heavily favored towards Detroit just with who they have out. Never mind the fact that Detroit's a slightly better basketball team.
Yeah, and I chose Cade for my points. He might not have to score 20. He might sit the whole second half.
That's very true. Hopefully he starts hot for you though.
Ooh, this isn't. I didn't know this might be Zubac's first game after the trade, because the Kings just played the Pacers a couple nights ago in that game of the year of the two worst teams in the league. If you missed that game between the Kings and the Pacers, you missed an epic game of the year.
Yeah, huge showdown.
If you can sense my sarcasm there.
Yeah.
Zubac did not play. I think that's his first game for the Pacers, unless he played the last game in between. So that's something to watch to see what he can do.
Yeah.
And then you got Wizards versus the Magic. I played Suggs in my Fast Break Pro for steals, so we'll see if he can get steals. And then my Kings don't play tonight, but they did play last night. They played the Hornets. They ended up losing, which, as far as the draft lottery is concerned, is a good thing. For those of you that don't know, if you are the worst team in the league, you're guaranteed a top 5 pick. Granted, the chances of getting a first pick are still the same of being 14% if you're the bottom 3. But if you fall into the second place, you're not guaranteed a top 5. Even with the Kings losing last night, they're still the second worst team. And I do this once a day just for the heck of it to see how many times it takes for the Kings to get the first pick. I don't know how many of you even know about this site. If you guys are yearly playoff contenders, you guys don't have to worry about this kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
But for us, our playoffs many times as a Kings fan is the draft lottery. That's our playoffs. And then the actual draft itself. So most of the year, the Kings have been the worst team in first, and majority of the time, because there's a better chance that they end up 5th than there is of them getting first. They've been ending up 5th. Now that they're second for now, hopefully the Pacers somehow pull off a win. The fact that Zubac is back tonight, maybe that helps them win. So I'm going to see what the Kings get in my first simulation and how many times it takes to get first. Utah, where's my Jazz fans at? I know Colton, our good friend Colton, is a Jazz fan. He has his coffee with Colton pretty much every morning. He'll be thrilled with that. Kings getting second, I would be thrilled with that. If we can get AJ DeBonsa, assuming that Utah takes the first pick that everyone thinks they'll take, I would be happy to take AJ. I know Colton wants to get AJ instead, but let's see what it takes to get first. Dropping down to 5th. Pelicans hopping all the way up. Dallas. If Dallas gets first again, we're going to have something to chew on.
For sure.
If they somehow get first
For
again,
sure.
yeah, that's going to be a big topic there. Like same with Indiana, kind of like you were one game away from winning the finals. You lose Hallie, you lose Miles Turner, and now you're potentially the worst team in the league for a year. You're going to get Hallie back next year, and if you get the first round pick a year after being in the finals, I don't know about that. I wouldn't mind Washington, Brooklyn, Utah, hell, even Portland if they jumped up getting it. Anyone else though, I don't want it. And if this drags, there we go. Kings finally got first. That was 6 tries, I think, to get first.
Not terrible odds. I mean, everybody's got
terrible.
that. Is 14% the highest, and it goes to the bottom 3 teams, if I'm not mistaken? Or is it bottom 2 teams?
So if I reset this, the top 3 or bottom 3, I should say, have the exact same odds to get top 3.
Okay.
But if you're first, the worst that you can get is 5th.
Yeah, which that does make sense. That would be terrible. You tank all year just to get like the 8th pick.
Right? Yeah. And usually that's where the Kings have ended up, is like somewhere between 8th and 12th or whatever in mediocrity. They didn't suck enough to be bad, and they weren't good enough to be good, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So with your Bucks playing tonight, what are you thinking?
Oh, with the Heat taking on the Bucks, you said?
Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, we're keeping our eyes on Bam Adebayo. I mean, with the game he just had going into the next one, you gotta hope that he can not necessarily replicate that performance, because that's impossible, but at least give us 30. I think if he came off and scored anything less than 30, it wouldn't necessarily be a letdown, because Bam's not necessarily known as a scorer. But I do expect Bam to come out and do his thing. Hopefully he can hold Giannis in check. But if the players around Giannis perform better than the players that we have around Bam, I fully expect the Miami Heat to lose this game. this is just being not biased. We have so many players out. The fact that we had all those players out against the Wizards was kind of different, but this Bucks, even though the Bucks aren't having an amazing season, this is still a much different animal than when you're talking about the Washington Wizards. So I do anticipate it's either Bam carries us to a win tonight once again, or we drop the game and end up losing the Bucks because of Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis hasn't been your typical Giannis though since he came back.
That is notable, and the thing is as well, Bam historically has done a decent job of defending Giannis and kind of getting him off his game and getting him out of his spots. So if Bam's ready to play tonight, if Bam neutralizes Giannis and Bam kind of has one of his better games once again, don't be surprised if we come out with the win. We have won, I think, 7 straight, maybe 6 straight, if I'm not mistaken. So we're hot right now. This would be a really good opportunity for us. But with the people we have out compared to what Milwaukee's bringing to the table, I would not be surprised if we lose and snap our win streak.
Yeah, I mean, when I was just looking at it, Miami was favored by, I think it was 4.5. Okay. So right now you've got Pistons beating the Sixers 17-8. Suns and Pacers are tied 20-20. Magic beating the Wizards 20-13. Nets and Hawks about to start in about 5 minutes. You got that Heat Bucks game in about 5 minutes. Later on, you got Mavericks Grizzlies. Cooper Flag is playing tonight. You got Nuggets Spurs. That should be a good one. Jokic versus Wemby. Celtics Thunder, another good game. Celtics Thunder. And then you got Bulls Lakers. So some decent games tonight. Some possible stinkers, but you never know what game is going to end up having a story. Going back to that Heat Wizards game,
Yeah, for sure. That's why we watch them.
So while we stay on some of these games until the Heat Bucks game starts, let's move on to some other topics to chew on. We're talking about the World Baseball Classic. We don't want to bore people with baseball too much, but if you want to root for your country or root for your heritage, your upbringing, your culture, whatever it is, the World Baseball Classic is a way to kind of root for other players from Major League Baseball. Kind of like when like I would never root for Steph Curry, but when he was on the USA team and he hits that night shot against France, I was rooting for Steph Curry, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's kind of the same thing with WBC, is that certain players, like I don't know that I'd ever root for Aaron Judge, but when he's playing for USA, I might be rooting for him, right?
Yeah.
Certain things like that. Never root for a Dodger, but if he's playing for USA, yeah, probably might be rooting for the guy.
Yeah.
So I know you're big into baseball. If you want to talk about WBC, let's talk about that and some of those weird rules and tiebreakers that they have going on, and how the manager thought that they had already advanced the other night and they had to get lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's certainly something to chew on. It's when you have what's presumably supposed to be the manager that's going to go out and represent the United States of America as a whole and be your leader just on the baseball front. You can't really go out and say stupid things like that where you're either not informed or you're making a really big mistake. And yeah, so that's kind of embarrassing. And for me so far, watching the World Baseball Classic, despite my own American heritage, if that's what we want to call it, I've been rooting super heavily for the Dominican Republic. Those guys have just been coming out and playing with so much passion and fire. And then you turn on the American game and it's like, it's just not there, man. So while I am American and I want to see America take home the W, I'm very, very, very much not opposed to watching the Dominican go and win it all, because that has been such entertaining baseball. They're playing with so much passion. So yeah, personally, even though the DR might not be the favorite to come out of this thing and win the World Baseball Classic, we have America, we have Japan, who might kind of be just above those teams, depending on who you ask. Personally, the DR is my favorite just because of how much passion and energy they're bringing. Don't be surprised if America does end up winning it just because we have so much talent naturally. We just have so many dogs out there. But the DR has just been standing out. So I'm kind of rooting for DR the rest of the way.
Yeah, and think about that's like it's similar to the Olympics, like I was saying, where you have players that are on Major League Baseball teams.
Yeah.
that you can then root for them when they're representing their country, right?
Yeah,
And then you have players that aren't on major league teams that this is their chance to shine, right?
for sure. We've
This
seen a
is
lot
their
of that too.
Yeah, this is their chance to represent their country, win for their country, win for their family, win for their friends, whatever. And there might be their chance to showcase themselves to maybe get called up to maybe their farm team at least, right?
Yeah,
On a
yeah, for
major league
sure.
team. So and it's definitely a different style of baseball. There's different rules. The fans are different. Watching the fans in the stands is different than watching Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
You know,
it's such a different level. There's so much
yeah,
more fire. It's like kind of like the World Cup is what people have been saying. It's like a World Cup environment around the American sport of baseball, which has generally been kind of monotone. You know, sometimes in the playoffs and World Series you get a little bit excited, but there's not much excitement around baseball until you bring in these players who are fighting for their country, like literally out there trying to, fight for their pride and have so much passion. And then the fans are just the same. So I hope that this can kind of influence the MLB going forward to show that we need to kind of get rid of some of these unwritten rules and allow players to have this self-expression and excitement to the game that's going to get the youth involved and going to get more people interested, like the casual fan like myself. Going to make me want to watch more baseball games if people are out here screaming, yelling, doing these bat flips, having these crazy celebrations. It's a passionate game that should be played with passion.
so you're talking about celebrations and doing stuff to engage the league or engage the fans. What do you think about the? Oh man, it was just on the tip of my tongue. It's the Banana League.
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
the
I'm probably saying it wrong.
the
The
Savannah Bananas and their
Savannah,
Banana
thank
League.
you, Savannah Bananas. Yeah.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I actually had the opportunity to go to a Bananas game, but then something came up and I wasn't able to go. I was going to make the trip up to Pittsburgh and watch the Bananas play. And I was kind of excited. Like, wow, like some people may say, like, oh, it's kind of like this, like immature, like youthful humor. I was still excited to see what they were going to bring to the game of baseball and what they were going to do. I think it's a really good thing because it's getting the youth involved, it's getting families involved. And baseball is a sport that had their target audience traditionally has been the older, single, disgruntled man sitting in his basement, drinking 9 beers and watching 3 straight baseball games that are kind of drawn out. So with them
Right.
speeding the game up and with the Bananas bringing that kind of new energy, and then we see the World Baseball Classic bringing that new energy, I think that baseball's direction, their trajectory right now is on the up and up with all of these different players and cultures kind of getting involved. And I think the Bananas are doing a really good job of doing exactly the same thing, just kind of incorporating, the family and this funny kind of entertainment into it. And a lot of people say, oh, it's a disgrace to the game of baseball. Well, it's either we're going to respect the game and honor the game at all times and not break these unwritten rules and whatnot and have less viewership, or we're going to kind of conform to modern society and grow the brand of baseball, take it international, take it into everybody's household, whether that be through the Savannah Bananas or not. So be it. We just want to grow the game. And at the end of the day, that's what we can say about all these sport leagues. It's just about growing the game and getting more people talking about sports.
Yeah, and I don't really hear people saying what they say about the Savannah Bananas, like about the Harlem Globetrotters,
That's a good point.
right?
Yeah. I'd say maybe a difference there is kind of the roots of basketball. How, basketball is kind of more, I don't know how to describe it. It's basketball has more soul than baseball, if that makes more sense. Basketball is kind of a thing rooted in these cultures that have more soul, whereas baseball is kind of just like this, like uptight kind of, you're going to respect and honor the game. And I think the fact that basketball has this street ball culture and this city culture that's more tied into it, way more closely knit than what we see in the MLB. I think that's kind of why it's been harder for a lot of MLB fans to make that transition from from old style baseball to the Savannah Bananas to the World Baseball Classics, things like that. So I'd say that I do see your point, and I agree with you fully. I've actually seen the Harlem Globetrotters play myself. Super fun, super cool experience for all involved. I think that's kind of why maybe it's been more accepted, stuff like that. And then you see in the Harlem Globetrotters, they used to have NBA players go and play for the Globetrotters. I think Wilt Chamberlain might have been on the Globetrotters for a few games. So things like that. I feel like that kind of gives validity. So maybe if we bring out a few MLB players to the Savannah Bananas for a game or two, that'll kind of help people accept it and understand it more. It's part of baseball culture. Even if you don't love it, it's still good for the game at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes I know there's another league that does it, but also the Bananas do it sometimes also, where they do the black light night games.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
their jerseys are covered in the UV type of paint, and then
super cool.
the lines for the bases and everything are painted with the UV. It's a gimmick, but it's super fun for the families. I like it. And who cares? Like, baseball started off being played in the street with a stick. Like,
exactly.
I mean, the fact that it's taken so seriously now, I get it. Some reasons for, like, because it's so old. There's things that are rooted in the culture of baseball, but it's a game. It's a kid's game, right? Like, let's not take it so seriously.
For sure. I think that kind of attitude from the fans of old and the kind of diehard serious fans, they can kind of lean into that a little bit more. They'll be open up to so many new experiences. And I think it'll grow the game. Like I've said a few times, it's really just about expanding the brand, expanding the game into new audiences.
One cool thing that the A's are doing here in Sacramento, they're playing at the minor league park where the Rivercats, where the Sacramento Rivercats play.
Okay.
Or at least used to play. Now the Sacramento Rivercats, I'm not even sure where they're playing now. But their stadium is right along the Sacramento River, and then there's a bridge, an iconic, well, at least iconic for California, the Tower Bridge. It looks kind of like the Golden Gate Bridge, but Sacramento. It goes over the river, and then a couple of blocks is Golden One Center where the Kings are playing. So the end of the NBA season overlaps with the start of the baseball season for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
So they'll have on the weekends a doubleheader where you can buy tickets to the A's game, a day game, walk across the bridge, and then go catch the afternoon Kings game, and it's combined tickets for the both.
Yeah,
and it's like a family package. And the fact that the NBA and the MLB and those two teams are getting together to do that kind of thing, if there's that opportunity in other cities, more teams and more leagues should do that kind of thing.
I agree. I didn't know that was a thing. So that's awesome in your community.
Yeah. We didn't get a chance to do that last year. I took my son to a baseball game last year for the first time. He wasn't really into baseball, but just like going to a game and just being there, even if you're not watching it the whole time, baseball can be fun, especially when you hear that crack, and you gotta turn around and watch, because you better not get hit with the ball, right? You gotta be aware of where that ball's going when you hear that crack of the bat.
Yeah.
So you gotta be paying attention. So I had somebody else responded to the Twitter post that I had about topics. I haven't seen them pop in, but they wanted to ask about the WNBA. I don't know how many fans in here are into the WNBA, but there's a strike going on with them, trying to get not equal pay to the men's league, because I don't know that will ever happen, unfortunately. But at least fair pay, though.
For sure.
The product that the NBA produced last year, and really the last 2 years, I never was really into the WNBA except for when the Sacramento Monarchs were here. Going back in time in history, it's actually the only professional team that brought a championship to Sacramento is the Monarchs.
Wow.
So other than that was the last time that was in the WNBA. Now I have a 10-year-old daughter. She's getting into basketball, and NBA Top Shot has WNBA moments. So when the NBA is out of season, a lot of us get into watching the WNBA so that we can have something to collect. And there's WNBA Fast Break. So I never thought that I would be watching and learning some of these women's names, but I started getting connected to some of these teams and getting connected to some of these players. And the women played just as hard, if not harder, than most of the men some nights. And they're getting paid half as much as I do for the job that I do.
Yeah.
And and they're going out there. Yes, they're playing the game that they love, but still, it wasn't until a couple of years ago they actually got to fly on charter planes instead of flying Southwest with other people. So they definitely deserve it. But now the WNBA Players Association is trying to fight, get fair pay, and they're going on strike. So I wish that the guy that brought it up was in the chat. He would want to talk about a little bit more where you are locally. What's your WNBA team? Do you have one near you?
I would have to think. I would assume it would be a Pennsylvania team. I've kind of been, when I first got into the WNBA, I'm not heavily into it. I don't watch many of the games. I do watch some of the playoffs, and I do watch the finals of the WNBA. So I've been big on the Aces because of Aja Wilson being the significant other of Bam Adebayo.
Right. Okay.
But Seattle has also been a team that I have some interest in.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and Seattle might be getting their NBA expansion team soon, so that should be fun.
Yeah, that's exciting. If the Heat, stay on the trajectory of just being good enough to keep me in, I might have to take on a secondary Seattle fandom because the Sonics branding is so cool. I don't know if they'll bring it back, but the Supersonics, they just had so much swag, man.
That they almost stole my Sacramento Kings though.
Really?
When the arena that they were in, Arc Arena in Sacramento, it had to be torn down. It was too decrepit, and they weren't going to rebuild it. They're going to have to get a new arena downtown, and the owners were selling the team, and they were going to sell it to Virginia Beach. They're going to sell it to somewhere down in LA. They're going to sell it to Seattle was another one, and it even got into the news that the deal was on fourth and 1 at the goal line, like all but complete, right?
Yeah.
And then Kings fans went across the country on an RV. I'm not saying that this is what stopped it, but the fact that the Kings fans went across the country on an RV, getting signatures signed on the RV as a petition, and then got there in time for the NBA Board of Governors meeting in New York for the vote of whether or not to have the Kings team sold or not. They ended up getting an extension.
Yeah.
For it not to be sold. And then David Stern at the time, commissioner and now passed away, ended up not allowing the sale to go through. And the local investors here got enough money together and enough commitment together, and were able to buy the team and keep the team here in Sacramento. But it was like 95% done for the team to go to Seattle. And I wouldn't have had my Kings anymore.
Yeah, which that sucks. Because I like the Kings. I like their branding. I like what they got going on. Obviously, not very successful right now.
No.
But when the Kings are winning, it's good for the NBA.
Yeah, but the NBA makes sure that they don't win for very long, though.
Got to keep them under control. Can't let them have too much.
And so does our owner. We need a new owner. But let's see. 442 as the Heat Bucks game started yet? It has just started. Your Heat are up 4-2.
Looks like we're winning it. Let me stop.
Stop the count.
Exactly.
Heat are up. Let's see. If you had to guess who scored your points.
Who's our starting lineup right now?
Bam, Ware, Davion. I missed the hell out of Davion. Pele Larson and the Ghost.
Bam's got 2. Pele's got 2.
Oh, here he is. Yeah, you're right. It's Bam and Pele. And the Ghost just scored a 3.
Bang. Let's
go. Sweetheart Pro Wrestling. We were just talking about WNBA and their strike.
Yeah, we talked. What was that? Probably like 5 to 10 minutes on WNBA just now. Probably 5 minutes.
If you wanna put in the chat your opinion, your feedback, your whatever, your thoughts on the strike and the league in general. They also had the Unrivaled League. If you heard about that.
I heard something about that. I haven't seen anything, but I heard something on Twitter about that.
That was actually pretty fun. Like if you're a basketball fan in general, regardless of men, women, college, whatever, that was super fun to watch. A lot of the players were WNBA players. If SPW was in the chat, he might be able to answer me on whether there was any non-NBA WNBA players that participated. I don't know. But it was like it's what we would want to see at the NBA All-Star game. There was 3-on-3, there was 3-on-3 games, and there was 1-on-1 games. Like, and it was by stars. Stars of the WNBA going against each other in a 1-on-1 tournament until the best two were left standing. Like, to watch that in the NBA, like that would
be amazing. We need that.
Yeah. To see that on like a Saturday night or whatever, like that would be crazy. All unraveled players are in the chat. W. Okay. So it was all W. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, that's really good for those ladies, honestly, that they're getting out there and kind of showing that they don't really need the WNBA. They want the WNBA to do what it takes to retain these players, but them going to that other league and kind of showing off their talents over there, I think maybe that could help be a wake-up call for the WNBA, but I'm not very hopeful that we'll get to the proper resolution for these ladies, you know?
The NBA is too wimpy for one. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They're too worried about getting embarrassed.
It's very true. I'd love to see those guys compete, though. You put KD out there. KD on Bam. Give me Bam.
KD on Bam?
Yeah. Bam is a very good 1v1 player. I think a lot of people would be surprised how good Bam is. He's like a point forward, but he doesn't really show that aggression in the game. I know he just scored 83 points, and that showed how he can get to the rack with ease. He's a very good shooter, despite the fact that, you know, he's not the highest three-point percentage-wise. Bam 1v1, I think he has a good chance against a lot of other guys. Obviously, KD's KD, but with his age, maybe Bam could sneak one out.
Can you simulate that in 2K?
Technically, you could, yeah. Okay. Now, my issue with 2K, though, is they underrate a lot of players and overrate those top guys. So KD probably is like a 96, 97 overall right now, where Bam's probably like an 87. So it's like that discrepancy in Bam's inability to move on the game would hold him back a lot. But real life, those two guys are going at it. I think Bam's chances compared to 2K would be a lot better in real life than they would be on the game.
You might be right. Especially, I mean, if you go peak KD though versus Bam.
Peak KD versus peak Bam Adebayo. KD's smoking his ass.
Okay.
And keep in mind,
you're talking about current KD. Okay.
Yeah, and right now KD's still a bucket getter.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if he's physically going to be able to hold Bam, and I think Bam might be able to overpower him defensively as well if he can get up in KD's grill. Obviously, KD is KD. He's going to do his thing. It'll be a good game, but give me Bam just because of his current physical ability defensively and how he's actually showing that he can get in his bag, get to the rack, knock down a jump shot now, whereas he hasn't really shown that in previous years.
It would be fun to watch.
For sure.
That's the kind of thing of like sticking to the name of this show, something to chew on, like those unique matchups where you're putting this guy against that guy, no chance.
Yeah.
And then you see what somebody can do one-on-one and like I don't know how they would maybe like WWE used to do when they would bring in a cage match and make it look and feel like Rucker Park. Make it look and feel
that would be awesome.
Like a street game, awesome. Right?
Yeah.
And have the fence around it with with chain net.
Yeah, that would go crazy. Man, I would buy a ticket to the All-Star game. I'd try to get there.
Yeah, have those guys feel like they're in the park or out or whatever. You're gonna have 15, 20,000 people or whatever in the arena, but you're not gonna be on some court that looks like every other court. You're gonna have this feel around you that makes you feel like you're going truly one-on-one. It's not gonna be like the And One mixtape where you have everybody right next to you and you're having to play through a crowd. That's not gonna be like that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would be something too if you had those NBA guys doing like And One stuff.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Bring the MC out and do And One. But I don't see that happening either because there's too much respect for the game quote, you know.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
checking
we replace the dunk contest. Hopefully.
with the street game.
I think they need to. And the dunk contest is a cool concept, but a lot of people have said it's been played out, myself included. I think that there's just no more. There's nothing else you can do. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe some star power would bring some attention back to it, but when you bring in that star power, you're going to be sacrificing dunking ability. So the quality of the dunks is just going to be a little bit lower, and I just don't think it's worth it. So it might be time to do away with it.
Are you making this up, SPW, or is that true? I've never heard the term cager used to be slang for a basketball player.
I've never heard that, but I do know that they have, and they did used to play in cages. And I also know that like NBA 2K has a game mode specifically dedicated called the cages. I don't know if they've had it in these most previous years, but they have had it before, where you're jumping around on like these trampolines and playing basketball within a cage, so you can't go out of bounds. So you're like bouncing off the walls and playing NBA 2K within a cage.
So you bring up trampolines. You know, I was talking with you about watch playback, how I was doing the live NBA content. During the summer, we would watch slam ball. Did you ever watch slam?
Yeah.
You watch slam ball?
I've never watched it, but I've seen clips, so I do know what it is.
They brought that back for a couple of, I don't know if they're still doing it, but it was brought back for at least two. It was brought back for at least 2 seasons, and it was in Vegas, and that it was a gimmick, but that shit was so fun to watch.
Yeah, it's exciting. People jumping up, punching each other.
Yeah, and like blindsiding each other from the side.
Yeah,
to take each other out. Yeah. You had a guy that his foot went through the trampoline and he snapped his ankle. But to watch these guys jump up on the trampoline, and like there was times where there would be a showdown. So the best offensive player would go up against the best defensive player, and the best defensive player would have to time it right to jump up and swat the ball as the offensive player would go up. And you'd have the offensive player come up and then do an up and under to dunk around him. That was pretty fun. The slam ball was fun to watch. Little things like that. The Banana Savannahs, Slam League, those other little leagues. Take it for what it's worth, right? You have all the football leagues that never seem to last because they're trying to be something better than the NFL, like XFL, the UFL. They never last. Like just be your own thing. Don't try to spend billions of dollars because you're going to go bankrupt. Like just spend what you can, get who you can, be who you can be, right? And be your own kind of thing. And maybe you'll last 5 years or something. Like,
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I see your perspective on that. It's not really one that I thought of, because a lot of these companies and these brands are going all in on this product. Nobody shows up, and then it dies out.
Yeah. And there's not really other than college, there's not really a feeder league for football or something for players that just retired or players that are like trying to make a comeback. I guess maybe the Arena League. The Arena League is the only one that's lasted, AFL.
Well, and that's the thing. Even with the Arena League, you rarely see players transition from one to the other as kind of that feeder program that you talk about, where you have for basketball, you can go overseas, and the overseas product is a very big deal. Whereas you're not going to go overseas to play football, and that's going to be your ticket into the NFL. You're going to go from college, you're going to go to the NFL. You're going to baseball, you're going to go college, you're going to go to the minors, you're going to make it to the majors. So those feeder programs, that is a really good point. It would be a good thing for some kind of league to start up and be the feeder program for the NFL.
Or the NFL to do it themselves.
That's a really good point. They have the resources for it. They really do. But
with the NIL money now with college though.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. If you're eligible to be in college, honestly, it makes more sense for a lot of college football players to play college football instead of NFL football. And I never in my life thought we would get to that point. People will stay in school because there's more of an incentive. It's going to be easier to play against. You're going to make more money than when you go take that NFL contract. And it is crazy to me to think that people can stay back, and that's a better financial decision than to go to the professional league. So,
yeah, and I think it's probably, it depends on the position that you play, depends on the type of player you are, the the marketing you're able to get, right? Like if you're a marketable player, if your skills are there, if you're
Yeah.
not an interior lineman, you know, that kind of thing.
One of the dogs, one of the hogs.
Yeah, yeah. Each league, each sport, each position's a little bit different.
For sure.
Checking in on your Heat and Bucks, 23-10. Your Heat are up.
How many points does Bam have so far? Let's do the Bam point counter.
You're not looking?
I don't have it pulled up. I'll pull it
You
up.
want to get? You want to guess?
Okay, wait. Is he in the game right now?
Let me go to the game cast to see.
Okay.
I'm looking at the full box score, not the game cast. The game cast will tell me who's in.
23 points.
He is not currently in.
He has 7 points and he got subbed out.
He has 4.
How are you going to score 80 something? And then he's going to finish tonight with 16 points. Just watch.
And they're up 24-12 now.
That's amazing though. That we're out to a good start. I'm glad. With that rag punch.
Your leading scorer is Pele with 7.
That's my guy right there, Mr. Larson.
Let's see.
Not actually. That's not actually my guy. He's all right, but
yeah, Davion's got 3. Pele's got 3 assists. So when Davion was on the Kings,
talk about that.
He was one of my favorite players when he was on the Kings.
Yeah, he's a very talented player. He's very ferocious. Very, like get in your face, play some defense. I love his attitude. It fits Heat culture.
And he's built a decent offensive game too now.
Yeah, he's getting a lot better than he was.
When he went to the Raptors and then came to the Heat, over that time, he's built a decent drive game, and he can knock down some threes.
Yeah.
Which he didn't have. He had the drive game, but he didn't have a 3 shot when he was with the Kings. But they didn't give him a chance to really develop that. But he always had that defensive dog mentality. And he was great with the community.
Really?
Yeah. So like some of the community that's still here, they'll remember a couple of years ago. They don't have the program anymore, but Top Shot had NBA Top Shot captains. So for every NBA team, there was 1 or 2 people that were the community leaders in the city. That would do IRL events. We would do giveaways. We would do watch parties, sometimes virtually, sometimes in person, things like that. And here in Sacramento and San Francisco, we have something called the California Classic. It's our version of the Vegas League that's in Vegas.
Yeah.
The Summer League. And Davion was there. It was his 2nd year. And he was there just watching the Rooks play. And he was in the aisle. He was in the aisle next to our group. And I was with my son. And my son goes up to him and says, "Hi." Davion takes a picture with my son. He signs the ball that my son had. He grabbed some shoes out of his backpack that he had. He signs a shoe and gives it to my son.
That's
like
awesome.
not the shoes that he was wearing, but just a pair of shoes that he had in his backpack. So now he only has one. He doesn't have a pair anymore. He only has 1 shoe.
Yeah.
So like if he was gonna go hoop or whatever later on, now he's only got 1 shoe.
Yeah.
And then that picture of Davion and my son, it might still be somewhere on some page on Top Shot, but it was on the main homepage when you went to Top Shot. Was my son with Davion.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And now I'm watching him ball out for the Heat instead of my team.
Yeah. He's been pretty solid for us. He's been very reliable. He's had a couple games where you'd see a stat line and be like, there's no way that guy put up those numbers. It's crazy. All due respect to Davion, of course,
Yeah.
But
he's kind of similar to Keon Ellis, another defensive dog that started to develop an offensive game that the Kings didn't give a chance. My Kings keep giving up on guys. But so it's about 5 o'clock on my end, 8 o'clock where you are. Any last chew on this, something to chew on, topics that you want to bring up? Talking about NBA, we didn't really talk about our NFL teams free agency. If we want to get into NFL free agency, we can.
I mean, I have another second here. If you maybe we could talk about our favorite acquisition, or just move. Rather, say we got rid of somebody. Maybe your favorite move by your NFL team.
Sure. So I can start with that. It's kind of bittersweet and frustrating for me. I don't think
Yeah,
I don't know if they actually got rid of him or not. Brandon Ayuk, like they didn't
yeah,
re-sign him. I don't know if he's
yeah,
still under contract. But something flipped a switch in his head. He came back from his first injury, played well enough to get his huge contract.
yeah. He's paid very handsomely. I think he's like
Yeah,
a top 15, top 10 paid wide receiver in the whole NFL by year, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, he got paid ridiculous amount of money, and
Yeah,
then got hurt again, and didn't fight to come back, didn't care to come back and play for the team, and he held out to get that contract in the first place.
yeah,
And didn't come to the warm-ups, didn't come to the OTAs, didn't
hmm,
do any of that. And then he gets hurt. Um, didn't support the team like on the sidelines or anything.
yeah,
And then doing stupid shit outside the stadium, going like 100 miles per hour plus by the
yeah.
practice
I did see that
facility.
clip.
And just became a completely, I don't, either CTE, getting hit in the head too much,
Yeah,
or something else in his life, marital problems, or who knows what, something outside. Like
yeah,
I never want to assume, and I never want to like
for
give
sure.
player, because you never know what's going on mentally with players,
Yeah, could
you
be
know.
something much more than just like a simple like he doesn't give a shit anymore. It could be something much more than that.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they are removing themselves from that situation. The Niners are no longer trying to appease him.
Yeah,
Hopefully, if he's gonna go to another team, he can start fresh somewhere. Another team gives him a chance, and he takes it seriously and makes the best of it.
for
And
sure.
that would be the best case scenario for both the team and for the player. So they haven't shipped him off yet, but they also didn't keep him. So that's kind of a good thing, that I hope they're removing themselves from that situation. They picked up
Yeah,
Mike,
I would agree
they picked up Mike Evans. Um, that would have been a huge pickup 2 to 3 years ago.
for sure.
It's another injury. I don't want to say injury riddled, but um, an older
Recently
guy.
injured, probably. He's recently been
Yeah,
injured, type of deal.
recently been injured. Can't stay healthy. He's in his early 30s, right?
Yeah,
So you better make the best of him in the next 1 to 2 years,
yeah,
um, because are they going to keep Jawan Jennings? Are they going to keep? They got Ricky Parasol, but hopefully he can stay healthy this year. Speaking of dogs, you get shot trying to save somebody from a robbery, and you come back and play 2 weeks later.
yeah.
Um,
That's dope shit right there. That was pretty cool.
yeah. So, yeah. So that's my team. I haven't really seen too much else, like as far
Yeah,
as running backs, or I know Trent Williams is trying to get paid. He hasn't been
yeah,
the Trent Williams everybody thinks that he is or was.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So actually, I should have shown that. I've got when the Niners got their new Levi's Stadium, they have a fan walk out in front of the stadium where
yeah.
you can buy a brick that goes into the ground, and
That's dope.
when you buy that, you get a replica. So on my fireplace panel, I have a replica of the brick that's in like a glass case. And
Huh.
it has me and my son's name, and it says Niners fan for life. And then when I go to the arena, every time that my son go to a game or the stadium, we go and find our brick, and we lay down on the ground, and we take a selfie with our brick. So
That's dope. That's dope,
yeah,
man. How you actually a part of that. And as well, I don't know if your camera is frozen just on my end, but I think your cam's frozen. I don't know
you're
if it's
right.
for the whole stream or
No,
we
you're
might have
right.
to
It
like add
is.
it, remove it, something.
It's frozen for me too. One sec.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
So go ahead and talk about your team acquisitions, and I'll reset my camera.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So, guys, while Chewy's doing that, I don't know who's left, if anybody's left, but I would say that my saddest getting rid of a player, not returning a player, is definitely Romeo Dobbs. I'll miss him a lot. Romeo had a really big impact on us. Part of me was actually thinking that Dobbs might have been going to the San Francisco 49ers, which is Chewy's team that he just mentioned. It's also my father's team. So I wouldn't necessarily been too upset about Dobbs going to the Niners, because then I would have got to watch him more, watch him with my father. He would have been in the NFC still, causing us some havoc, but I respect the fact that he went to the Patriots. So Dobbs left. We lost Quay Walker, lost a few other guys. Brought in Zaire Franklin. I think that could be a really good addition for our defense, kind of fill that hole that Quay is leaving when he leaves on the way out. I don't foresee him being a huge impact player, but I really hope he proves me wrong, comes out and shows to be one of the best linebacker 2s in the NFL, because he's not going to be our linebacker 1 behind Edgerrin Cooper. Overall, I would like to see the Packers go out and get another corner, whether that's via trade or free agency. I think we need one more dog at the corner position. We just shored up our defensive line a little bit more with Javon Hargrave, the Gravedigger 2.0, if you will, coming into Green Bay. But yeah, if we can shore up the corner position, I foresee the Packers having another pretty good season and taking a step forward with that acquisition of Micah Parsons coming back off that injury and Tucker Kraft coming back from injury as well. I think if those guys can get healthy, we bring in one more corner, I think the Packers have a really good chance to make the NFC Championship. And then once you're in that game, anything can happen. So
when's Micah supposed to be coming back?
So Tucker Kraft got hurt before Micah. Tucker Kraft should be back by week 1. He should be an opening day starter for that first week. Micah Parsons' timeline to come back, people are talking about potentially week 4. I don't know what Micah thinks he's going to do. I'm assuming, knowing Micah, that he thinks he's going to be ready to go by week 1. Let's go Packers. Yes, sir, bro. Go Pack, go. But I would assume that it will probably take 4 to 5 weeks for Micah to come back. Say week 3 he's back, I'm not surprised. So
with Dobbs went to the Patriots?
Yes, Romeo Dobbs could have stayed in Green Bay, but we did not have the type of money that the Patriots were offering. And as the season went on, the sentiment was kind of that Dobbs was out, on his way out. And as he's on his way out, I'm assuming he was going to go to a place like the Bills, a place like the 49ers. So you're kind of one receiver away from taking another step and being that much better. And I think he would have been a really good fit in San Francisco. And even though I don't like the Niners because of the fact that they've taken us out of the playoffs a few of the last few years, I don't really like him, but I think he would have been a really good fit over there. But I think with the Patriots, he's also going to fit in well. I don't know if they'll utilize him properly, but with the money that the Patriots are paying him, I think it was a 4-year, $70 million contract, if I'm not mistaken. They better give him the ball if they're going to be paying him $70 million to wear a Patriots uniform. So you got to get the man the ball. And he's really good. He'll go up and get a really good route runner. So I'm confident in Dobbs going forward in the Patriots uniform. I'll miss him, though.
Yeah, and with football, you can't say no to that money because nothing's guaranteed.
That's the thing. And I can't be upset about it. It was like the writing was on the wall. This man's going to go get paid. He's a talented receiver. We can't afford to keep him. So it didn't come as a surprise.
So who's your 1 and 2 now?
So 1 will be Christian Watson. I personally have had the belief that Christian Watson's been wide receiver 1 since he got on our team, minus, I think he might have had a year with Devontae Adams, if I'm not mistaken. They played 1 year together. So once Devontae left and Watson kind of stepped in, he became the number 1, even though he's extremely injury prone. He had a really good season this year, was able to come out when he was on the field, played amazing. So give me Watson at 1. And then I think Matthew Golden takes a big step up. Matthew Golden or Dontavian Wicks will be fighting for that wide receiver 2 spot more than likely. And then Jaden Reed will take either 4 or 3. Don't be surprised if Jaden Reed gets traded or isn't really involved as much as he should and ends up getting moved because of maybe being disgruntled because he wasn't utilized to his full potential this year. But yeah, I think Matthew Golden will be number 2. Watson number 1. I'm a huge Christian Watson fan. Since the beginning, I've loved Watson. I think he's our number 1 because he's our most talented. He's our fastest. He's our biggest receiver. Get the man the rock and see what he does. So Christian Watson's our guy.
But without Dobbs there to take the pressure away, do you think Watson will be able to have the kind of year that he did?
I still think he will because his talent just jumps off the page. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about Pro Football Focus, but they rate him through the roof every single time he's on the field. He's always playing really good, running the crisp routes, having the great hands. I think with Dontavian Wicks is a really good route runner on that opposite side of Watson. He'll kind of step into that Romeo Dobbs role. Obviously, Wicks is not Romeo Dobbs level of a player, but I think it'll be good enough to where with Matthew Golden on a threat to have the ball on any play, with Jaden Reed as your fourth or third best guy, and then with Wicks being a really good route runner, Watson's still going to get his targets. He's still going to go out and get his, even without Romeo Dobbs on the field.
And you still have Jacobs at running back, right?
Yeah, still with Josh Jacobs. And you can't forget Tucker Kraft, one of the best receiving tight ends in the NFL, even though he's coming off that injury. I still think he's going to be a top three tight end in the NFL, whether that's behind McBride and whoever else. It's McBride and then Tucker Kraft until he got hurt. He's going to come back, and he's more than ready. He's going to show up and show why he's a top-tier guy. So
for sure, yeah. And I don't know when Kittle's going to be coming back, but he's out at least half the year.
Yeah, that and was it the first round of the playoffs that Kittle went out?
It was definitely early, yeah.
Yeah, I hate that happened. So, like, it just sucks. The 49ers have been so injury prone. The same can be said about the Packers, and we've actually traded some personnel. Not traded, but we've swapped some personnel in our training room. Like, some of our trainers have been on the Niners and vice versa. And I feel like it's just there's something going on with our organizations where they need to change that because, like, these players are getting hurt way too often.
Well, I mean, they make jokes about that power plant, or not power plant, but power whatever next door.
Yeah, there might be some merit to that. Yeah, there might be some merit to that, the way those guys are going down. So
yeah, chew on that. I don't know that we're gonna have a power plant segment where we talk about, but
maybe you chew on that in a future episode. I think that'd be a good topic to chew on. Dive into the conspiracy.
Bring on an electrician and see the science of that.
Yes, like Bill Nye and another electrician, and you're good to go.
Dude, if I'm old, okay, I'm mid-40s. If I grew up watching Bill Nye, that was my afternoon coming home from school, turning on Bill Nye, and there was no DVR, there was nothing like that. If I missed my Bill Nye episode, I begged my mom to let me put homework off so I could watch Bill Nye. So if I ever got to be even virtually with Bill Nye, and I'm not even in the science that much, but just that would be awesome. So quick check with the score. You got the Heat 39-29 over the Bucks. You guys keep playing consistent. I think you guys are going to win tonight. Hopefully I didn't just jinx that, though.
It's all good. I mean, I've seen it before. I've seen it go all ways, so don't worry.
So let's wrap this up. We've been on for a couple hours now. We do actually have quite a few. The chat isn't that active, but we do have quite a few people still watching. The little eye up there says 62 people. But I think I
appreciate you guys.
I think that might be combined with Twitter as well. But hey, I think it's been a great first debut show for this. For those of you watching back on the recording on the pod, it won't always be Thursdays at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. My schedule as a dad is pretty busy, so it'll kind of be changing all over the place, the days and the times. But just follow Collectin and Connectin on all the socials, on Twitter and on IG. Join the Discord, join the community there. There's all kinds of different hosts. D Dabney in the chat, his name on socials is Memphiattle. He's on here. We got the Hive. We've got multiple different hosts that do their own flavor of things, different fans of different teams, different styles of things that they talk about. Some of them are just individual guys and gals like me. Some of them are multiple hosts that are on the same time. So you can always find your little niche of team or fan or style that you like and watch that. And then there's the Collectin and Connectin pod themselves that bring on different guests all the time to talk about their collections, talk about their fandom. And it's a great community. They brought us on here to be hosts of our little things like this. So stay connected. You're always welcome back to come on, Dimer, whether it's just in the chat or we could check back again, in 3 months or whatever. Or, hey, during the playoffs when your Heat are in there or the play-in or whatever.
You go. We'll have to do it during the first round because I don't foresee us making it too far past that. But you never know. You never know with Miami. We've made some runs. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, you guys have been a part of some underdog runs and unfortunately some collapses too. So
very true. It goes both ways in this game. It goes both ways.
I'll be watching the draft lottery and the end of that, and then seeing who drafts who and what they become. That'll be my playoffs. And then we got the NFL coming up with all the free agency going on. There's always something going on with sports, and then we got baseball starting up. When's spring season done?
I want to say that they'll officially be playing regular season MLB baseball in 15 to 20 days, maybe 20, maybe early 20s days, but it's about 3 weeks away. If somebody asked, I'd tell them it's probably 3 weeks away until we start seeing some regular season baseball.
Opening day, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, so if we're going to call it, I just wanted to take a moment now and say congratulations on your first episode. I mean, I think you did really good. I think it was a good conversation. The chat was very active. So everybody who's watching, make sure you sub up to Collectin and Connectin. And also check out Chewy himself. So go show some love to him on social media.
Hey, drop all your content too. What's your socials and your pages?
So I stream over on Twitch. That's Dimer Streams. It's like, as you can see here on my name, if it's visible on stream, Dimer, and then streams, all one word, over on Twitch. And then everything else is going to be It's Dimer. ITSDIMER. It's going to be It's Dimer. YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and then my Instagram is IG Dimer. But I might pop up if you just look up Dimer. I'm kind of growing over there on Instagram. But yeah, so It's Dimer for all my socials, and then Dimer Streams for my Twitch. Make sure you go check me out. I'll be streaming tonight at midnight if you guys are interested. And then I'll be streaming MLB The Show 26 as time goes on. So make sure you go check me out as well.
So midnight your time, which would be 9 o'clock Pacific?
Yeah, 9 o'clock Pacific time, and then midnight Eastern, and we'll be going live for MLB The Show 26 early access release.
Cool. All right. Hey, I appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Appreciate you letting me come on your stream as well a couple weeks ago. And I'll keep everyone in the community and both communities aware of what's going on, not just with Chew on this, but also Collectin and Connectin. And hopefully our communities can kind of connect and partner up, and we can grow together. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. That's the goal at the end of the day, is just growth, and I feel like you starting this and me being able to come on and be this first guest, hopefully that's good for the both of us. So I do appreciate you taking the time to host this.
For sure. And when I started the show tonight, I said I would show why I'm called Chewy. So Chewbacca from Star Wars, this is how I'll end the show tonight. Summer camp many years ago when I was a young teenager, sitting on the deck of the cabin as a camper, sitting there, I'm stretching. I go like that. My friend looks at me. He's like, "Dude, you sound like Chewbacca." I'm like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, you just sound like Chewbacca." He's like, "Can you do that again?" I'm like, "No, I was just stretching. I was making a noise." And then for the full 2 to 3 weeks of camp, because it's like a summer week session, I just practice to figure out how I could do the Chewy sound, and I perfected it. So now I'm able to do regular Chewy. I can do Chewy underwater, baby Chewy, angry Chewy, different kind of Chewy sounds. And it became my nickname throughout 8th grade, high school, and into my adulthood. When internet came around, yes, I was alive before the internet was created. That was my handle. Everything, username was all Chewy something. So that's where my nickname comes around, and I can talk like him. So that's where my nickname is. Yep.
Yeah.
So collect with NBA Top Shot if you love NBA. We didn't get a chance to show NFL All Day, but if you're an NFL fan, check out NFL All Day. I'll be sure to bring that up the next show. And hopefully we can show that off. I do have some pretty good moments from the NFL. I'll show off some Packers moments. I'll show off some Niners moments, and go into the history of that as well. And check out, if you're on Twitter or you're on Instagram, check out the hashtag NBA TS Pack. It's NBA TS Pack. And you can see some of us ripping NBA Top Shot packs in various places. Some of us do it on the plane. Some of us do it on the toilet. Some of us do it at games. And we just like to rip packs, show what we get, do it in different ways, show our reactions like that. And that's a fun way to do it too. And if you start getting into Top Shot, you can do that as well. And that's a way to start showing yourself, getting little short form content. And you could even win packs for sharing your rips. So,
yeah.
And that's how we found you.
Very true.
Thanks again for joining. Thank you, chat.
Yeah.
Thank you for Collectin, Connectin. Have a great rest of your Thursday night. I'll see you later.